There's a lot of drama going on with Stellantis right now. Yesterday, Stellantis filed a federal lawsuit against the UAW. I can't wait to see the discovery on that and see what actually comes out. And it's real interesting because what's happening is Stellantis is saying that we cannot continue on certain investments that were promised. But in the letter, it does say that Stellantis has the right to basically not do any investments based on the current market and based on conditions with the company. But also what I'm seeing is the UAW has the right to strike if they don't do investments. So it's just a whole ordeal. Lawyers will figure it out. But I can tell you one thing. If the company makes investments so that they say we don't have the money, we don't want to make it, what are they going to do? They're just going to have to increase the price of this. This is already too high enough, $72,000. And no, you don't get a V8. You get a 3.0 inline six. It's not a V8. It's not a Hemi. Yeah, it might have some power and some torque, but at the end of the day, it's still not a V8, and that's what people want. And it's funny because the UAW, the letter that they sent to Stellantis said, our competitors don't have the problems that we're having. Well, and the competitors they mentioned were General Motors and Ford. Well, both of them offer V8s in their trucks. So you say your competitors aren't having the issues that you're having. Well, they offer vehicles that people want in their muscle cars. The Mustang's still going to come with that 5.0. So, you got to think of it that way. Why in the world would they get rid of a V8 in a full-size truck in 2024? It doesn't make any sense. And the other deal with the UAW, sometimes they go too far. I'm going to say that right up front. 63,000 here. You guys can barely see it, but hear me out on this. So you have the UAW. They're basically negotiating themselves into irrelevance because they're wanting too much. They're always pushing, and I completely understand because you have an extremely greedy. I completely get it. You have someone like Carlos Tavares, who is a greedy CEO, like a scumbag, basically. So I get it. I completely get it. But nothing's going to change. Nothing will change with his salary, with anything like that, until they get him out of there. But who is Stellantis? Who's in charge of Stellantis? Who is the main person? Who is the person who has to answer? The shareholders, who has to answer? The executives have to answer to the shareholders. At the end of the day, the shareholders are in charge of this company. And I can tell you one thing, they are not happy. They are not happy. I wouldn't say they're in charge, but the executives have to answer. The board of directors have to answer to the shareholders. And they're not happy. The stock's been down for the last 6 months. Yesterday finally had a green day, but we just hit a 52-week low the other day. It's not good for Stellantis. They have bad products on the car lots. I mean, we'll go up to any of these trucks. They're all just going to be 6-cylinder engines, inline sixes with turbos. People don't like that. It's too expensive. It doesn't come with the V8. It doesn't have the sound of a V8. It's just not what people want at the end of the day. And some people would say UAW work quality is not as high. That is something I'll say. It's not as high as, let's say, the Tahara plant in Japan. If you don't know, Toyota has one of the best factories in the world in Tahara, Japan. The average wage in that factory is $16 an hour. The average wage in America is much higher at some of the Stellantis factories. So definitely not always based on, just because you increase wages doesn't mean you're going to get better quality. But I can say one thing, it has to do with culture, it has to do with a lot. And if you're a factory worker at Stellantis right now with all this drama going on, what in the world it's just so much. And I get it. You're dealing with greedy party after greedy party. Look at this. $1,200 add-on, makes it $48,000 for a 2024 Dodge Hornet RT black top all-wheel drive. That's the problem. The product is not right. People don't want to buy this. So you have, at the end of the day, you just can't sell vehicles. Getting rid of the V8, getting rid of muscle cars as we know it, putting products on the lot that nobody even asked for or even wants. So you have all these issues mixing into one. The only thing that you still have that can still sell is your 2500 and your 3500s. Keep them simple. To my understanding, they don't have the same, they don't have to go through the same emission standards, so they can kind of keep things how they are. But this is a big one for Dodge. If they can keep, or Ram, if they can keep it simple, no, just keep this, you'll do okay. But it's real interesting because the company's struggling at the end of the day. There's no question about it. Yeah, $70,000, not too bad. But you're going to get, and this is a diesel, but you're going to get 10, 15K off probably, so not a bad deal. But they'll hold their value better than that Hornet, I'll tell you that much. But that's where it is. You have the UAW who always wants more and more and more, and I get it. I completely get it because you're dealing with an extremely greedy corporation, but I don't think they're going to own it much longer. You guys are pushing them to the limit. They're maxed out. The CEO is going to keep getting, $40 million last year. Like, nothing's going to change, no matter what you do on that end. So I give him credit for at least trying, but I can tell you one thing. The way Sean Fain, I don't know. The way he does things, I'm not a huge fan. Just because, the way he sides, like, the way he votes, let's put it that way. It doesn't make much sense because the right, President Trump, is definitely he's very strong on tariffs. And tariffs are what's going to keep auto manufacturers in the United States. And I don't even know if you're for Trump. I'm just saying he's very strong on tariffs. He even threatened to tariff John Deere, individual, the company, not just the country. He's saying he wants to tariff the company, which a lot of people say that's going too far. But Trump says no. They want to go to Mexico and build the tractors at a lower cost. He wants to individually tariff the company, which I would argue, or I know, most conservatives say that's going too far, actually. But President Trump says he's going to do it, so we'll see if they actually move to Mexico. But that's the thing at the end of the day. The UAW needs to realize, I don't know where, they're way too political. You guys, they need to get out of the political thing, and and they're on the wrong side. I mean, come on, they're really on the wrong side, but that's just my opinion. I don't like to get too political, but I do like to tell the truth of, how I feel, and I want you to know, at the end of the day, to me, it is true, and to me, tariffs are the way you keep auto manufacturers in the U.S. And there is one party that's extremely strong on tariffs, and the head of the UAW is not siding with that party. So it really makes me wonder. About a lot of things, actually. But anyways, everybody have a good day. Stay blessed. Have a good one.